Hey, we're exactly 3 weeks from deadline day. Timo Meier remains number one on our trade bait board, but how long is that going to last? With Horvat and Tarasenko off the board, the sense is that Meier could move sooner rather than later. CJ just mentioned Vlad Gavrikov. He's fourth on our list, sandwiched between a pair of Blues, Ryan O'Reilly and Ivan Barbashev. Speaking of cup-winning teammates, Patrick Kane has dropped from third to seventh in the wake of the Tarasenko trade, with Jonathan Toews right behind him. Rounding out the top 10, Joel Edmondson, who's got a year left on his contract. The Habs are looking for a third first-round pick in this year's draft. Could Edmondson be the bait that gets them to what they're looking for? So, Chris, Timo Meier still at the top of our TSN trade bet board. What have you seen from the Tarasenko and the Horvat trades in terms of teams looking like they don't want to wait? They want to get this done. I'm assuming that gives us the indication that Timo Meier can be done sooner rather than later. And if that's the case, what's it going to cost the team to convince the Sharks to give up on him?
Well, it's going to cost more than what you saw and go the other way in the Horvat deal, and more than what you saw go the other way in the Tarasenko deal. It's three pieces teams are being told to get Timo Meier into the fold. You can assume a first-round pick is part of it, but the secondary pieces or what comes after that is, I think, what will make this deal different than the previous two in terms of the quality of those pieces. And, that is there for Mike Grier, the San Jose Sharks general manager. He has several teams that have stayed around this. We've talked about New Jersey and Carolina. I wonder if Vegas might get in there now that they are going to have more cap space than initially thought. I think Toronto, at least, is just keeping its eyes on where things are going with Timo Meier. And so when you look at this player, this is going to be a big haul. And I think when all is said and done, the smoke clears on March 3rd, that will be the biggest trade of this deadline period.
I hope they save it for us for deadline day, so at least we got something to talk about on that day. Patrick Kane falls from number 7 to number 7 on our board after the Rangers trade for Vladimir Tarasenko. And after practice today, Kane said, and I'm quoting now, "It's not like the happiest I've been to hear about a trade. If things are going to happen, that was a team I was definitely looking at. It seems like they kind of filled their void and went ahead and made a deal. So it is what it is." All right, now the Rangers have been taken off the table for Chris, and it's clear that Patrick Kane was looking to waive to go there. What's next? What happens next?
Well, I think Patrick Kane's going to have to take a step back, right? I mean, those were emotional comments, very honest comments, and really interesting comments, frankly, if you sit where we do, because, I had been told consistently that if he leaves Chicago, and that has always still been an if, I don't think he's made up his mind fully, that the Rangers was the place he wanted to play. And I think that's pretty evident in seeing the way he's approached this. And so now the question becomes, okay, that dream is likely dead, although there is a way the Rangers could do both. I'm not saying they're going to do both, but cap-wise, there is a way they can make this work. But would he go to a Dallas? Would he think about a Vegas? Some of the other contending teams that might try to see if there's a fit there. I think Patrick Kane has to kind of take a deep breath, have a discussion, obviously, with his family, his agents, and decide what he wants to do next. And he might choose, ultimately, to stay in Chicago.
I want to ask you about a couple of Canadian teams. The Jets and Oilers find themselves right now right in the midst of a wide-open chase at the top of the Western Conference. How do you see these two teams approaching the deadline?
The Oilers, it's pretty cut and dried. I mean, they have to take some money off their roster to bring players in. We know that they're very much shopping for a left-shot defenseman. I think they'd also like to add another forward to their group, probably a bottom sixer, someone who can be versatile, take faceoffs, kill penalties, that kind of player. But they don't have that much room to maneuver with. That's what makes Winnipeg and Kevin Cheveldayoff so intriguing to me, because they are at the opposite end. They actually do have the cap space to just purely add to their team, to add a significant piece to their team if they want to. Now, that hasn't always been maybe in their DNA as an organization, but this is a unique year. They've had a real great bounce back under Rick Bowness. They have a few players approaching the end of their contracts in the next few years. I wonder if they're a bit of a dark horse. I haven't heard them attached to any of the big names, but I wondered, again, depending on prices, if they swoop in here in the next few weeks.
Make it that much more interesting. By the way, Vlad Tarasenko is making his debut for the Rangers tonight against the Kraken.